Bethany here, and welcome to my channel. Today I am joining the members of Handmade Happiness in the Embossing Folder Friday card hop. Today's theme is a masculine card design. So I am going to play with a few different looks and techniques and see where we end up. I don't have an exact game plan in mind, so just bear with me because I am playing. I love making masculine cards, and I have a few events and occasions coming up in my life that I need to make some masculine cards for. So we are just going to go ahead and dive in. I have this 3D texture Tim Holtz embossing folder. It's supposed to look like textured leather. I saw someone use this a few months back and I was like, I absolutely have to have it. And so I went and hopped on Amazon and got it. I love the look of it, but I have personally not used it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and you'll see that this A2 size card front has a little bit of discoloration. It was sitting in the sunlight at some point and something must have been over it, so portions got discolored. So I am going to go ahead and just throw it through my Cuttlebug here really quick, and then we're going to texture it up even a little bit more. Here you can see a close-up of the texture that came out when I put it through the embossing folder in the Cuttlebug. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of my favorite color Hive ink colors, and I am just going to add some texture. The first I'm going to use is the lighter color, and that's the Frappe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to messily just dab some as if this is a dirty piece of leather. It'll get blended later, but I am literally just taking the stamp pad, the ink pad, and directly pressing on. You can only see, it's almost like leaving a coffee cup impression behind on the leather. But now, oops, and I just got some on my hand so we can rub that off. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brush and I'm going to create a vignette look. Really get that texture going so you can see it as I'm blending that the darkness of the flat white color. You can see some of the deeper colors of the coffee stain look kind of goes away, but it still isn't completely gone, which I like. It just makes it that little bit more messier, which I think is manly. Sometimes precision isn't always the key to good card making. All right, now that I have my background set, I'm going to start adding other elements. I have this bit of ephemera left over from one of the card kits that I've used in a past video from Tailor-Made Cards for You. I will post the link down below for the exact name of the card kit. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut it down, and then we're going to add it to this masculine card. I'm going to go ahead and use some more of the flat white and just rub it across the edges quickly as possible. I don't want the ink to linger there too much. And then I'm going to leave that there. The sentiment I'm going to use is from my favorite things, and I'm going to use actually a couple of them. The ephemera itself says change, so this is for someone who is going through a change and you're celebrating that they are having a major change in their life. And we're going to start off with using congratulations, and I am going to use Color Hive's Remarkable ink. It's a little mini pad, so I'm going to put congratulations up here. Then I'm going to plan to have this thrilled for you is the next sentiment, and then the third one I'm going to do is the you deserve this, and it kind of looks like a typeset. I think it's really fun, really cool, but also simple at the same time, which simple sometimes is masculine. All right, let me go ahead and put this down with some Barely Art glue. And while I have this, drying, I'm going to put a little block over it and move it to the side because now I actually want to add another sentiment to the inside. This is a pre-made card base from Michaels, and the sentiment I'm going to use for this is "Things Just Got Real." And I just put my finger into my stamp pad. So things really just got real. I'm committing to it now. And this is from the Letter It line from Ranger. And I am going to use the stamp block here. The nice thing about masculine cards is you don't need to worry so much about precision. I feel like I get a little slappier the more masculine cards I do, which is totally fine. I'm not sorry about it, really. There we go. Things just got real. I'm going to let the inside dry before I put the top on, so I will come back to this and we will start working on the next card. Now the next card, I'm going to start with the Sizzix textured 3D embossing folder. It's a very geeky looking embossing folder, and this is perfect for the next card I need to make. It also happened to be on a hefty discount at Hobby Lobby. Woohoo! Here is what it looks like embossed. I had a metallic holographic looking piece of cardstock, and I went ahead and embossed it with the embossing folder. And now I just have to pick my sentiment and put it all together. I'm going to use 65-pound white cardstock, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp out my sentiment. This is the boxed sentiment from Maker Forte. I really like this stamp set. It fits a lot of different occasions, and the fact that it just has that little box that you can put the emphasis right in is really cool. I'm going to use my Stamparatus though to line it up exactly how I want it. I've gone ahead and inked up the box first, and I'm just going to place it down using my smusher from Maker Forte. Get a really good impression, and there's just a little hair of lightness. I know I said before that I'm okay with little mess up, but I feel like a straight line should be a full straight line. There we go. And now I'm going to add the sentiments on the inside. So birthday is the emphasis, and happy will go on top, right in between the little gap on the box. And using the same black Remarkable ink pad from Maker Forte, inking it up really well and using my smusher. And it is a beautiful, beautiful impression. Now I am going to just fussy cut it out. I'm not going to be super perfectionist about where I'm fussy cutting it, but I want to make sure, since I didn't let the ink dry completely, that I'm not smudging my ink. It's one thing about being impatient. You got to make sure that you're prepared for the consequences of being impatient. So that's why I'm holding it a little bit to the side, making sure my thumb here doesn't smudge the ink that I am not allowing the time to finish drying. And now I am going to just go ahead and glue it all together. I am going to put the glue here on the card base. This is another Michaels card base. I don't really care for the front of this card base. It's one of those colors I have a harder time matching, so I'm just going to cover it up completely with this card front. And a certain person in my household will be getting this for their birthday coming up very soon, so we're not going to mention names. But happy early birthday to this person. I have already purchased their gift. Thank you, Amazon deals. So I am fully prepared and ready for their birthday this year. So this just means that I have the birthday card ready to go. So I won't tell that person because they might watch this video, but this is your card. The person may also figure out that this is their card before the actual event, but that's okay. And there you have a super simple but really quick, fun masculine card. So now that I've let the other one dry a little bit, we're going to go ahead and piece this one together. And This one has embossing on top of embossing, so I'm going to overlay glue, mostly because it's just going to need to have extra time and pressure and excess glue. It's okay if it comes out the edges because it needs glue. There's a lot of space to fill in between both of these pieces of cardstock being embossed. But you'll see that I have completely covered the card base with the cardstock. But this one, to make sure it doesn't warp, I'm going to once again put that acrylic block over it as it dries off screen while I work on the next one. The next embossing folder I used is this. It's kind of looks like a bee hive. It's 3D though, so it has a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to highlight a little bit more of that dimension by adding a vignette look. Using the Frappe, I'm going to just blend a lot of color right around the edges mostly, but really pumping up the 3D-ness of this embossing folder. And it's going to take a lot of ink, so I'm going to fast forward through this. And after a while, you'll see I got really impatient and just started using the ink directly from the pad. Once I was satisfied with the coloring, I grabbed a little bit of the Sidonia cardstock from Maker Forte to put the sentiment on. And because the sentiment is larger than the piece of scrap that I had, I'm going to go ahead and change the scrap paper out, but the sentiment is from Hampton art called Everything is Better When We Are Together. And actually, I'm changing my mind. I want the sentiment to come off of the edge of the cardstock just a little bit. I feel like that's a very masculine thing to do, is to be a little messy in the delivery of the sentiment. So I inked it up again with the Remarkable black ink, eyeballing it a little bit, and I love the look. I think it's very fun. Sometimes it's okay just to be a little bit different when it comes to putting your sentiments. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this down. If I used anything more than simple glue, it probably would come off. So I'm going to use, once again, a lot of Barely Art glue to fill in those gaps, especially when working with the 3D embossing folder, not just a regular embossing folder. There seems to be a little bit more dimension that happens. And I want to make sure this stays down for a while. And this is going to someone very special to me, because we have this weekend our 7th anniversary. The sentiment I am using for this inside of this card is Happy Anniversary from the Hugs stamp set from Maker Forte. I have a comment about that. Yes, it is our 7th anniversary, but I find it very ironic that this is literally the only stamp set I own that has the words Happy Anniversary on it. I went through every single stamp set, and no other stamp set has the word Happy Anniversary, or the phrase Happy Anniversary. So I find it very interesting that I don't have an actual stamp set that says this. So that's why it's going to be the inside, and I will add my sentiments to hubby later on, after this is dried, of course. So happy anniversary, baby. I really do believe everything is better when we are together. And as a reiteration, here are the rest of the cards that we did today. And the congratulations, you deserve this. These are 3 different takes of masculine cards that may not necessarily be something that is gravitated towards, but I feel like the embossing folders themselves really turn these cards into masculine cards. It sometimes is harder for people to do masculine cards, especially because you look at the color schemes and you think all of these are female-driven color schemes, but really, brown on brown, the metallic look, or even using something a little bit more natural looking but distressed and having a little bit of simplicity to it, I think goes a long way when you are making masculine cards. So I hope you enjoyed today's looks, and I hope you check out the links down below. I will have the next person in the hop listed down below. I will also have links to our shop. We have this amazing fall sale going on. If you are looking to get customized gifts for anybody in your family, friends, Christmas is coming up. I have a lot of birthdays coming up, so customizing gifts is really what I'm doing right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. I would like to see you again and hear from you. Let me know what you liked about today's cards. And if there was something you would do that is a little bit different, let me know too. I always enjoy other people's feedback about what I do. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to find the joy in your day, and happy making. Bye! The Embossing Folder Friday. I had a metallic holographic looking embossing, or a metallic looking not sure if you can hear this, but all 3 of my children decided to wake up from their naps today crying. So that's why some of this was a little bit rushed than usual. Whoops.